All right, everyone. Good evening. I'm shooting this in the evening, but you'll actually probably see it when you log in tomorrow morning for your first day of class. So, good day. My name is Professor Matthew Gargano. You can call me Professor. You can call me Prof. You can call me Matt. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Welcome to Career Development. This is the summer term 2 session. So I am very excited to teach this course. I always like to shoot, especially in an online environment, I like to shoot a welcome video. And I like to shoot a welcome video for a couple reasons. One, it gives you guys sort of the person who is teaching and facilitating your course. Also, it allows you to sort of get to know my teaching style, as if we were face to face. I also like this because I'm able to really give a lot more information in a video in a more effective manner than if I was to write 20, 30 pages that probably most of you would not read. So for all these reasons and probably more that I haven't thought of, I do these welcome videos, and the students tend to really appreciate the welcome video, and they like the personal touch, they like the live touch and the extra information. So very important. What I have done is, over teaching this particular course and others, but I've sort of accumulated the questions specifically around the general course environment that students have asked, and I try to put it all in one sort of video. So you still need to read your syllabus, and I'm gonna talk about that. You still need to read the welcome announcement. In fact, in order to get here, you would have had to have read the welcome announcement to click on the link. But watch this video in its entirety, because I'm gonna give you a lot of information that more than likely is going to answer one or more questions that you have. If you still have questions, you can always reach out to me via email or phone. Email is always preferable. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's start off first. And if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I've got a split screen, and I actually like to have the course shell up so I can make sure that I cover everything that I want to cover. So I just finished populating the course, customizing the course, so it's already nice and fresh for you guys to go when you log in. I'm not sure whether that is, and we're on Central Standard Time here. I'm reaching out to you via my home in Rockford, Illinois. So I'm not sure if you guys are allowed to log in after midnight or first thing in the morning. But anyway, it's all there fresh for you. So let's talk about this. This course starts on Wednesday, August 9th. It's a 5.5-week course, and it ends on Saturday, September 16th. So let's talk about some general due dates of assignments. Now, again, the first place you want to go is on the side. You've got syllabus. You want to click on your syllabus, and you want to make sure you read that syllabus, because that's going to outline not only the course expectations that I don't cover here, but it's also going to outline due dates, specific information about grading policy, attendance policy, not attendance, late assignment policy. Actually, I think there is attendance. I mean, you guys got to log in and do your work, and some other information as well. So go through and read your course syllabus. Also, there's a link called Getting Started. I really like that. I would encourage you to click on the Getting Started link, because it's really a nice roadmap that really lays out all of your modules, module 1 through module 6, and all of the content and the assignments within those modules. So it gives you a really nice roadmap into everything and what to expect module by module. So for week 1, which is this week, your initial post will be due this Saturday, and your reply post will also be due this Saturday. I know that's kind of weird, because it's like Saturday and Saturday, your initial post is due and your reply post is due. Well, yes, that's because It's week 1, and it's starting on a Wednesday. Normally, your initial posts are due on Tuesdays, and your reply to that post are due on Saturdays. But because this is the first week, and we're starting on a Wednesday, which obviously Tuesday already passed, so for Module 1, your initial post and your reply post will both be due this coming Saturday by midnight. So obviously, I would encourage you all to post earlier than Saturday so there's enough posts for everybody to be able to respond to in a thoughtful and meaningful way. Moving forward, weeks 2 through 5 will follow the regular flow, which is your initial discussion post will be due each Tuesday by midnight, and then your reply post will be due each Saturday by midnight. And then again, we'll fall back into the other exception, which is week 6, where both are due on the last day of class, which is Saturday, 9/16. Okay, so that's the way the discussion posts are. And again, this is laid out in your syllabus. Now, a couple things about discussion posts. All right, the way I grade your discussion posts is your initial post. You have to respond in a meaningful, thoughtful, constructive way to all of the elements in that post. So what do the elements mean? The elements simply mean everything that the post is asking you for, you need to make sure you respond to. When I say in a meaningful, constructive way, I'm not saying you have to write a book. I'm just saying that make sure your response contains all the elements and that it's meaningful and it's constructive, right? Sometimes people can say that in 1 paragraph. Sometimes they can say it in 2 paragraphs, as long as it's there. Contrarily, somebody could write a book and say a whole bunch of nothing. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. But I don't want these short little itty bitty things either. I want good, substantive posts. For how I grade your reply post is I want your reply to a fellow classmate. You must reply to at least one of your classmates. Your reply must add value. It must be constructive and add value. It can't be simply like, yeah, that's a great idea, or that's a great thought, or I like what you said. That's not constructive. That doesn't add value. That's simply agreeing with what somebody wrote. So your reply needs to be constructive and it needs to add value. Where people lose points is, again, if you're not meeting the elements of the post or you're not responding in a constructive way. Also, your entire grade consists of your initial post and your reply post. If you don't do both, then you're going to lose half of your grade, because I consider a whole grade to be your initial post and your reply post. Okay. That being said, that's how you're graded. So moving forward, where I want to go now, assignments. Okay. All of your written assignments, so all of your other written assignments, any non-post assignments, all of your module written assignments, which include your live classroom, and I'll talk about that, are all due Sunday by midnight. Okay. The only exception to that is the module 6, because obviously the course ends on September 16th, which is a Saturday. So your module 6 written assignments, your final written assignment and your final live classroom assignment will be due that Saturday by midnight. Okay, very important. And that starts with, obviously, this coming Sunday. You will have your first set of written assignments due by that Sunday. Again, I'm not talking about your posts. I already covered your posts when they're due. This is all your other written assignments. Now, let me talk for a minute about your written assignments. What I have included for each of your written assignments, except for the live classroom. So I'll talk about the grading for the live classroom in a minute. So I'm not talking about the discussion post and reply, because I already talked about what the grading is for that. And I'm not talking about the grading for the live classroom assignments. I will talk about that in a minute. But all of your other written assignments, all of your other written non-discussion posts, non-live classroom assignments, I grade using a rubric. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with a rubric, you will be familiar when you actually click on it. But what you will do is, so you'll go into your module assignments, right? So you'll go into your module 1 assignment, and you'll go to your first assignment, and you'll click on the assignment. Up in the left-hand corner, you'll see a little window that says rubric, and it'll actually be clickable. So you click on it, and a screen will appear that actually has a rubric. And what a rubric is guidelines to tell you this is exactly what I'm looking for, and this is exactly what percentage of your overall assignment grade each section is worth. So in other words, I broke down each assignment into various sections, and I told you exactly what I'm looking for each section. Not only did I tell you exactly what I'm looking for, I told you based on what you gave me, it's either below expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations. I spent a ton of time creating these rubrics so you, the students, would know exactly what I'm looking for in your assignments. I don't hide anything. I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to be successful. I put the rubrics out there, and I even tell you what the grading structure is for each of the sections of the rubrics. I'm not here to trick you. I'm not here to surprise you. I'm here to make sure that to help. I can't make sure, only you can make sure. I'm here to help position you as best I can so that you can be successful in this course and learn a lot. So let's talk about feedback. Let's rewind for a minute and let's go back to your discussion post. Your discussion post feedback will be case-by-case basis. So I'm in that window that says feedback, I'm going to type in your individual feedback, you have the grade, boom. Now let's fast forward to live sessions. Same deal. You will have, I do not do rubrics for the live sessions. In the live session for the feedback, boom, I'm going to type in your feedback. For all your other written assignments where I have given you a rubric, that is your feedback, okay? Because again, I've taken so much time and laid out so much detail in what I'm looking for. Literally, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go click, 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 and that is going to calculate your grade because I already have everything. Like I said, I spent a ton of time breaking everything down, calculating all the points for everything. So in your feedback window, it's going to simply say see rubric, okay? You're going to click on, in your feedback window, you're going to click on the little icon for your rubric, and now you're going to see your graded rubric, okay? And so literally, you're going to see all the sections, and you're going to see where I have checked them. So what your feedback is, basically it is the boxes that I have checked contained within those boxes, that's your feedback, because that's telling you, you got a below expectations. Well, why? Because here's what you didn't have. You got a meets expectations. Why? Because here's what you did have. You got an exceeds expectations. Why? Because here's what you had, which is pretty much everything. So that is the main feedback, is the clicking of the boxes. Now, this is very, very important. Within each section that I click in, there's a little free flow text message. If I click an exceeds expectations box, I'm not going to give you any additional feedback because you've done everything I asked you to do. If you have a meets or below, then what I'm going to do in the little feedback is I'm going to say these are the specific areas within those specific areas that you need to address. Then there's a third window at the bottom that's overall. If I say great job, excellent, well done, there's nothing you need to do because everything has already been reflected in the individual sections. However, if I say you need to refer to the specific feedback above and fix it for your next submission, you need to go where I checked and you need to look in the specific feedback because your resume is built week by week, and part of your grade for your next resume submission is that you have to fix what's in the previous, all right? Where a lot of people lose points is, I will put very specifically, like one of the biggest things that students lose points, even though I say it every semester, is they don't have their email in the right format, or they have a Rasmussen email when I require a non-Rasmussen email, or an address block. So I'll say you need to fix your email address. Email address needs to follow the guidelines listed here. Email address needs to be a non-Rasmussen email. Don't worry about this making sense. It will when you see the rubric. Or address block needs to contain, or this and this and this. Now let me tell you something. For the first submission, I don't take off for things you're missing. Let me not say I take off for things you're missing because you need to have everything, but I don't take off if you submitted certain sections but they're not correct. Because what I'll do is I'll say, okay, the email address has to meet this guidelines, or the font, or the this or the that has to meet these guidelines, or your address block needs to be this or that. For your very first submission, because everyone's learning, I will give you that feedback, but I won't take off for it. But if I don't see the corrections in the next submission and future submissions, then I take off. The only time I will give you no points is if you give me nothing in a section. If you give me nothing to grade, then I have nothing to grade. So you're not going to get the points, okay? But if you give me something and it's a worthwhile effort. If you just throw some garbage on there, then obviously for the sake of throwing something on there, I'm going to know it and you're not going to get the points. But I mean, if you made a good faith effort and you just clearly are still trying to figure things out, then I'm going to work with you on that. So that's the way the rubrics work, so you know how that feedback is. Now let's talk about the live sessions, okay? I hold live classroom sessions, and then you have a corresponding live classroom assignment, okay? So each live classroom session is required for you to view in order to answer the subsequent live classroom assignment. This being said, there are 3 exceptions. You will not have all of my live classroom sessions I hold on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here's the thing. You are not required to attend or log in for the live classroom session. What I do is I always record them. I'll record the live classroom session, and then what I do is once I record it, I post the link in the course announcements, and I post the link in the live classroom session block. So on your home page, you've got your course announcements, you've got instructor information, and then you've got live classroom session information. And there is where my WebEx link that you can click on to be able to participate in a live classroom should you want to. But I also list all of the live sessions and the dates that we're going to hold them. And then as I record them and the recording links become available, I post them there as well. So you'll have the live classroom session recordings, the link both in the announcements, and I'll post it in the live classroom session information. But again, a lot of students don't attend the live classroom sessions, and that's okay. The reason why I record them and the reason why they're not required is because you guys are taking online courses because this is your preferred mode, because your schedules are crazy, whether it's your work schedules, your home schedules, your family schedules, your other schedules. I get that. So again, let me be clear. You do not have to attend the live classroom sessions. Those are optional. In fact, what I find is either I have 0 to 1 to 2 students that log in and attend live, and that's okay because I'm going to shoot those regardless, and I will record them, and then you will have the link. Now, what you will need for the live classroom assignments is you will need to view the live classroom sessions with the exception of 3. So the first live classroom assignment, which will be due Sunday for Module 1, we are not holding a live classroom session. However, what I already did is I posted in the live classroom assignment. So please don't email me and ask me where the instructions are, because I'm telling you now. You have to literally go into your module 1, and in your module 1 assignment, when you see live classroom assignment for module 1, you're literally going to click in it, okay, and click on begin, and then you will see the instructions. So for the live classroom assignment for the first week, what I want from you guys is I want to know what you want me to cover in the next 2 or 3 live classroom sessions. A lot of students give me feedback at the end saying that this class was absolutely beyond what they expected, and that makes me feel really, really good. It makes me feel really good because as an instructor, as a developer of people, I want you guys to really have a phenomenal experience above what you thought it would be. And one of the reasons why I believe is because I use the live classroom sessions to answer your questions about career development in depth. Okay, so let me just say this about that. Let's take a step back to what is career development. Career development in its most simplistic form is your professional identity and your professional journey. That's what career development is about, okay? Most people think, sorry, I got this eye thing going on. Most people think career development is just about having a resume, okay? Well, that's a tiny, tiny little itty bitty piece of it. It's not just about having a resume, it's about having the right resume, but it's also about your personal branding, and it's about your networking, and it's about your knowledge of your industry, and it's about how you handle an interview and how you navigate your professional life, and what is your professional identity, and how do you move to where you want to go, and how do you interview. I mean, there's so much to career development. And I will tell you something else. Just a little bit about me, and I posted this in the course announcements, but I have been a college professor for over 16 years. My favorite courses to teach, I love teaching career development, and I love teaching career development because it's one of the most, in my opinion, undervalued and misunderstood areas, but yet it's one of the most important, because if you really understand career development, you're going to have a leg up professionally above a lot of other people. I also teach a lot of business courses, such as Intro to Business, Entrepreneurship, at various places. Not necessarily at Rasmussen. I also am a dean of school culture, which is really cool at a charter school. It's a non-selective charter school, so we're based on a public lottery system. And so I love working with. I actually work with the K through 4 kids. I love working with the K through 4 kids. So it's a really cool position I have, the dean of school culture, really to maintain that culture of excellence. I'm also an author. I have 1 published book. I have a 2nd on the way. I'm also a pastor. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a spiritual father. I'm a life coach. And I'm also a consulting. I'm a consultant. I have a consulting business, and in addition, I'm actually launching a 2nd business. So I'm saying this to say, let me tell you something. The L, we're going to talk about social identity. That's really, really important too. Social identity and social presence. So the average and prospective employer. So I've got a stack of resumes. I just want to give you a little taste here to tell you about how important is career development. I've got a stack of resumes sitting on my desk. Guess how long the average prospective employer is going to look at take a look at that resume before deciding whether they're going to move forward or not move forward with you? 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've just decided, based on 10 seconds, whether I'm going to take your resume and I'm going to move it in the to be further considered pile or the not interested pile. So part of career development is Your resume is your first impression on paper. This right here is your ticket to get you into the door to get that interview. So your resume has to stand out among the other 500 resumes. So what's going to make your resume on paper be powerful enough to cause you to stand out above those other 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 people applying that position, where within that 10 seconds, myself or someone else is going to be within 10 seconds, wow, this person I want to take a closer look at. See, that's part of career development, and that's really, really important. So I say all this to say, in your first class, in your first live classroom assignment that you're going to give me on Sunday, you don't have a live classroom to watch, because your first assignment is, I want the top 3 areas or the top 3 questions that you have for me that you want me to really, really focus on and address in the next 2 to 3 live classroom sessions. Is it what does make a resume stand out above the rest? What to put on a resume or not to put on a resume, even to the point of what are great interview questions to ask, what are horrible interview questions to ask, to questions about how should I dress, how could I be more confident, what other areas should I do to prepare for my first interview, what if I haven't worked in a long time, what if for whatever reason I've been out of the workforce because I've been a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, or I've been laid off for a while, or I started my own business and I've been working for myself, but you know what, for whatever reason, I want to go back into the workforce, or I've been a full-time college student, or I've had health issues. So how do what are the right things to say? What are the right questions to ask or the right responses if I've been out of the workforce for a while? And how do I reflect that on an interview, on a resume? What do I put on a resume to get me in the door? What other questions? People have talked about what's the best way to conduct a video interview? What's the best way to conduct a panel interview? Well, how can I practice effective time management skills? I mean, there's tons and tons of questions, even questions I haven't even thought of. What if you studied abroad? What if you have a degree, from a foreign university? How should you dress? How should you look? How should you act? What should you look for when you're considering career options? I'm throwing all this out here because I want each of you to come up with 3 really meaningful questions or areas or topics that you want me to cover in more detail in the subsequent 2 to 3 live classrooms. And then what I do is I go through the first assignment, make them good, folks, because this is for you. It's for you. So, and in the past, I've had some amazing, amazing questions. It's been great. So what I do is I compile after the module 1 is done, I'll go through and I'll compile all the questions and I'll group them together. And then starting with our first live classroom session, which will be on 8/17, remember, they're always on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Literally, I'll sit here and I'll start answering those questions and I'll start expounding on them. Give me great questions, folks. Give me questions even that you've heard here that are relevant, but give me other questions related to career development so we really have a great time and I'm able to answer, because a lot of times your question is somebody else's question. So again, I like to leverage the live classroom sessions to really spend that time focusing on those questions that you want to ask about career development, about pursuing your career, about those types of things, resumes, interview preparation, job preparation, career preparation, other things that I haven't even thought of, all right? So that's the live classroom. So we'll have live sessions on 8/17, 8/24, and 8/31. And again, those are all listed in the live classroom session information. Also, these are listed in your course calendar. I went through, and as I do every term, and I set up everything that's due when. So that's another great resource for you, is go to your course calendar. I'm just keeping an eye on the time here. Go to your course calendar and you can get a visual on your calendar and click on what's due when. So we will not have a live classroom session on this Thursday, but again, you already know what your assignment is. It's in the assignment. I want your top 3 questions or areas that you want me to focus on over the next 2 live classrooms. We'll have a live classroom session on 8/17, 8/24, and 8/31. Again, you're not required to attend. I record them and I will post the link. Then on 9/7 and 9/14, 9/7, I'm going to give you a different type of live classroom assignment that'll be actually, it's pretty cool. A lot of students enjoy it, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. And then I will give you your final instructions for your Module 6 live classroom assignment. So that's that. So let's move on, because I don't really like to go past where like a half hour. I like to keep these to 40 minutes. Instructor information. So my name is there, my phone number. Now here's the thing. I've given out my cell phone. Okay, a couple things though. 99% of your questions can be answered via an email. I would encourage you, and that's my preferred mode. If you have a question, my preferred mode is that you send me an email. It's going to get you the quickest response. And again, I'm hard pressed to think of a time when you really, really need to pick up the phone and call me. But if you do, I'm available. I'm just saying, the most efficient method for you and me to ask and answer any individual questions you have is via email. So I would encourage you to do that. However, if you feel that for whatever reason, your question cannot be answered in an email, and I would even suggest if you think it is, say, I'm not sure if this can be, but let me try, and then we can do it that way. If we decide we have to have a phone conversation, we could have a phone conversation. That's fine. You can call me. Also, because it is my cell phone, you can text me, okay? Text messages, my coaching to you on a text messages, if it's something super duper quick, go ahead and text me. If you're going to text me, I need to know who you are. This is so-and-so. I'm in your career development class at Rasmussen College. I get billions of texts. I'm clearly exaggerating, but I get a lot of texts. And from a lot of different places because of a lot of different things I do. If I don't know who you are, I'm not going to respond to your text because I get a lot of crap too. So again, if you don't identify yourself and you're sending me a text, I'm not going to respond to you, all right? So that's the things with that. What else? If you do text me, though, I set my private mode. And for those of you who want a really good time management lesson, I'll tell you. You want to know how I juggle so much stuff, I'll talk to you about time management. But there's got to be enough of that in the live classroom, sort of as the assignment, where enough people say, I want to know more about time management. That's going to help you not only in your personal life, but in your professional life. That's one of the things as a professional. It's going to make you stand out above the rest. But anyway, if you send me a text message and it's after 9 p.m., I'm not going to respond to it till the next morning, just so you know. 9 to 5, I'm out. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., I'm out. All right? So if you send me a text message, it's after 9 o'clock. I have my privacy mode set on my phone, so I'll get it and I'll respond to you in the morning. What else was I going to say to you? I'm unavailable from Friday sundown through Saturday sundown, which includes all communication. Everybody needs at least 1 day of rest. Okay, now 1 day should be sufficient. Sometimes people go too long. I'm not talking about vacations. We need vacations and holidays. So I'm going to take it as a general rule. You want a good lesson in time management productivity? Have 1 day that is your day of rest. Okay, so mine is sundown from Friday to sundown on Saturday. I'm out, okay? No phone, no communications, no text. So keep that in mind, because if you need something from me prior to sundown Friday, you better send it to me, because Friday sundown Friday until sundown Saturday, I'm out of pocket. I'm not responding, so you know that, all right? What else do I want to talk about? Let's see. Let's talk about the discussions, all right? So there are different types of discussion forums. First is your student lounge. Now, I posted something in there sort of just to kick it off, okay? But if you think about a student lounge, I think, is it annoying you as much as it's annoying me? In the student lounge, that's your lounge. So that's like, that takes the place of like, if you're in class, you're having conversations with your fellow students. So that's like your virtual kick it or hangout spot for students. All right. I'm not in the student lounge. Now, I posted one thing to kind of kick it off, so to speak, but I am not in the student lounge. That's not my domain. So the student lounge is really for you guys, your hangout spot, your kick it spot, that type of thing, right? So student lounge is for you, student to student. I don't make it a requirement for you to go in and post something about yourself. So I'm not going to require it, but I encourage you, because I think what it does is it helps to create and strengthen and build that community of learners, which are you. So even though I could make it a requirement, but if I make it a requirement, it's kind of going to lose its effectiveness. So I'm not making a requirement, but I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you to go in there to help create this culture, this community of learning. Go ahead and post something. I know I will read them, because I do. I like to, I'm a people. I like people. I like learning about people. I like helping people step into the best version of themselves. I love to help people identify their gifts and their talents and their callings, and I do I have a lot of life coaching clients, and I love that. So I say that to say, I'll go in there because I enjoy reading about people, but I would encourage you to post, but it's not a requirement. The second sort of forum is general course questions. Now, I also posted in there too in terms of how to use this. A general course question is exactly what it says, a general course question. So if you have questions, general questions about the course, you can post them in the general course questions. Now, here's the thing. If you post them in there, everybody else in the course can see what you're posting. So it's not a private. If you have a question that you want to just a private individual question, email me your question. That's the best way. If it's a specific question about the course or a specific assignment or something else that's going on that's course related and blah, 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 send me an individual email. If you have a course question that is about the general course, about the course in general, then post it there. But no, and maybe other people may have the same question. You don't know. But my point is, you need to know that other people can see what you're posting, and I'll respond there. Now, if you post something in the general course questions, please give me a nudge, meaning just send me an email saying I posted the general course question. You're probably like, Matt, that's kind of redundant. I know it kind of is, and I'm sorry. There's no like indicator, light, or message that I get when somebody's posted in the general course question. So I don't want your question to go unanswered. I try to remember to go in there. It's not an intuitive on my radar screen thing. So I'm just letting you know it's not something that's intuitive on my radar screen. That's a go-to for me. So a lot of times I forget to check the general course question. So I say that to say, if you post something in the general course question, just send me a little nudge in your email saying, I posted a question in the general course question. Sounds redundant, I know. I'm just trying to get your needs met and not overlook some general course questions. The best thing to always do is just send me an email about your question, all right? So, and then of course you have your regular module discussion threads that we already discussed. I'm trying to think if I got everything else that I covered. So you want to go to your home page. Obviously, you would have read the announcements to get this link in your announcements. Let me talk about my grading. I already talked about the rubric, but let me talk about my grading timeline. I believe this is the first term that they're opening up all of the modules to you guys. I'm not 100%, but I think they're either piloting it in all of the courses or piloting it in select courses. So don't take me 100%, but I think that this is one of the courses that they're opening up all the modules at once. So like in the past, they would only give you what was due each week. I believe, and again, I'm not 100%, but I believe you might be able to see all the modules. That being said, my grading timeline does not change. So your assignments are due each Sunday, okay? I start grading that Monday. So even if you, let's say you submit your assignment on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you submit all your assignments on a Wednesday or a Thursday, okay? Or let's say you submit all your assignments on a Tuesday, okay? I am not going to begin grading those assignments until the deadline has passed. So all of your written assignments are due each Sunday. So I'm going to start grading that Monday and have all of your assignments for that week back to you by Friday. So for example, your Module 1 assignments, right? Your Module 1 written assignments are all due this coming Sunday. I will start grading that following Monday. So even if you submit it early, I'm not going to start grading your assignments until the day after the due date. Does that make sense? Now, the discussion posts, I'm going to be in there. I'm not going to respond to everyone. So don't feel bad if I don't respond to you. I go in there and sort of randomly pick between 2 and 5 because I want to just sort of say, hey, there, this is provide you with some meaningful, valuable feedback. It'll never be negative. I don't call people out in public, but just to sort of be in there, poking around and providing some stuff. But it's random. So again, don't feel bad if I don't do yours. I'm just sort of randomly going in there and grabbing some or whatever. This being said, I wait until the initial post and then also the reply post is due because remember your grade is based on both. So what I usually do is with the discussion post, I'll start grading the discussion post Sunday evening, okay? But then I'll start grading your other written assignments beginning Monday. So just always think about it for each module. Module 1, assignments due the following Sunday. Matt starts grading that Monday, have grades by Friday. Module 2, assignments due that following Sunday. Matt starts grading that Monday, has assignments graded by Friday. That's kind of the flow, just so you guys know. What else am I going to talk about? I'm on 41 minutes. I'm trying to wrap up here. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think I did. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and post this so you guys will have this embedded into your announcements link. So it's there for you to click on when you access the course. And I'm excited about this course. I'm excited about this journey, this 5.5-week journey of career development that you guys are endeavoring on. I'm hoping and believing that it is above and beyond what you could think it is and that you get so much more out of it. So that's it. I'm done. I look forward to meeting all of you beginning tomorrow and throughout the 5.5 weeks. I look forward to working with you guys. So y'all have a great day and peace out.